Good morning. I'm going to talk about two things in one video today. I'm going to talk about the RRAA assignments and about Essay 1. Now I'm going to tackle RRAAs first because that is an ongoing assignment all semester, and Essay 1 is a one-time assignment. Now what RRAA stands for is Reading, Rhetoric, and Argument Analysis. Since that's an awful mouthful, I've abbreviated it as such. Now you'll have noticed that there's an RRAA assignment folder under Units and Activities. And if you peruse that folder at all, you'll notice a few documents and some drop boxes. I'll go down the list. So the first document is an SQ4R system for studying and reading. And the second document is guiding questions for readings. These are two important documents that will be useful to you not just in this course, but in any course you take at SEC and beyond. These are a system of active reading strategies to help you better understand what it is you've read. So for instance, these can be applied to an essay like you would read for me. It can also be applied to your textbooks. It can be applied to articles that you read that you've researched. It can work even for a newspaper. Now, what you'll be using is the guiding questions to go along with the RRAA assignment sheet. And what you'll do is, if you looked at that assignment sheet, it breaks down the steps that you need to take in order to complete the assignment. And then on the second page, there is a list of readings. Now, on our course schedule, you'll have noticed that a lot of reading assignments are in bold. And those are the ones that are going to be open for whole class discussion. So if you've gone through the table of contents in the Norton mix and eliminated those, that leaves with 10 readings. And those are the ones listed on the RRAA assignment sheet. These are for individual response, and these are going to be the ones that you will use for this assignment. You'll be answering these individually and submitting your answers to a Dropbox. Only you will be able to see your responses, nobody else, and myself of course, nobody else will. So what you will do is this: you will choose your first reading, and then using the guiding questions, answer those guiding questions in short paragraphs. So for instance, let me get the guiding questions open here, which I should have done ahead of time, but I didn't. Okay, so for instance, what you'll do first is you'll highlight and annotate the reading, and that's where the SQ4R will help. Highlighting is very self-explanatory in that you will underline or highlight within the book if you are planning on selling the book back or are not going to use it in further semesters. Sticky notes will be really helpful here. Also for shorter pieces, there are some shorter ones in there, you can make photocopies and if you like and highlight and write all over those. One of the first things you will do is write down at least 2 questions to show that you are thinking critically about the reading. And how you come up with these questions is by looking at the title, maybe some of the biographical information about the author, and thinking to yourself, okay, by the time I finish reading this piece, what should I have learned? So what kinds of things do I think I will questions should be answered as I'm reading this piece. You'll also identify the author and the source, and all of that information can be found in the little autobiographical section at the beginning of each piece. You'll determine whether or not the source and author are credible and reliable. And what this means is this a trustworthy source? And is a trustworthy author? And how can we tell? Does the author have degrees or is an expert in the field? Is the source one that is well known and reputable? Things like that. You'll also come up with the central point or main idea of the reading and 4 key details of the reading. Now, how I suggest students go about these sections is to pretend that you are going to pull somebody off the street. Like, let's just say you go to a bus stop and you pull somebody aside and say, hey, I just read this article, or I just read this essay. Here's the main, and give them the main idea. So what is it all about? And 4 things that they should know about that piece. You'll also identify the writer's purpose and the intended audience, and then the overall tone of the reading. Now, for all of these, it would be really helpful to use examples from that reading to show where you found that information. And you will be typing these up in double spaced. It's about a page long, so it's not very. This is not a long assignment. You'll establish your thesis. You'll have organized paragraphs, but they will be very short paragraphs. Because, for instance, if you're the credible and reliable, you don't need to go on and on and on about it. Just tell me very simply what if it is or not. Use examples from the text and give it a better title than just RRAA number 3. Be a little more imaginative than that. And that it's revised and proofread. Now what you will do for the first one is you will upload it to RRAA Dropbox number 1. And the due date for that one is September 21st, which is, I believe, in 2 weeks. And I will not be grading that one specifically, but I'll make comments on it. I will let you know if you're on the right track, if you need to maybe add more information, or maybe you got it right the first time. And I'll say, nice job. Hold on to those. And what I will, if you do not need to make changes, then just hold on to it. If you need to make some changes, revise it, because there's a Dropbox that say all RRAA assignments 1 through 10. And that I would expect to be one document with all 10 of your responses. That is the document that I will grade. And that won't be due until November 30th, which is a good couple months away. So you'll have some time to revise your assignments and make sure that you're doing those correctly. I will check in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times before they're all due, just to see how you're doing, to answer questions, and these little check-ins will count to, will look favorably upon you for your participation grade. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Essay 1. It's a narrative reflective piece entitled iPhone Saved My Life. If you look through the Norton Mix, you'll notice that the readings that I have available for us are about technology and education. So this first essay is going to involve technology. And we really can't escape it. I mean, I'm using technology right now to communicate with you all. You're using technology to complete this course. If anybody has something like this, little cell phone, that's technology use, televisions, iPods, iPads, anything's really. But there is some kind of technology out there that we all use on a daily basis that completes us, that gets us through our day, that makes life simpler. So what you're going to do in this first essay is you are going to discuss this piece of technology and how it has impacted your life. And you're going to use some narrative elements and some sensory elements to create this piece. So we'll do a little bit of outlining first here. Introductions. So you'll start off with your intro. And in your intro, you will be discussing this background information about whom you're discussing, if it's impacting more than just yourself. For instance, the piece of technology you could use, let's say, is the family laptop. And it's an important part of your life because it helps you get your schoolwork done, helps keep you connected to friends and family, and the people that use it are yourself, your spouse, and your children. So just give us a little bit of information on that. And then within that intro is going to be that thesis statement. Apologies for my crummy handwriting. So you have your thesis statement, and that will be your main point, that I absolutely need my laptop in order to stay connected to friends and family and accomplish my schoolwork. Something like that. That's a very rough working thesis. Within the Intros, Hooks, and Thesis Statement PowerPoint that's in Writing Lab number 1 will show you how to get a very strong thesis statement. Now, the body of your essay will be your narrative points. And you may have, 3 or 4 points. You may have 5 or 6. It really will depend on how you structure your essay, how many points you have to make. So for instance, I have my first point, and then I have 2 details. Now don't feel confined to following this format. This is just an example of how to outline this essay. This format may work for me, it may not work for you. And so you'll do that for all of your body paragraphs. And then you'll finally conclude your essay. Conclusion, L-U-S-I-O-N. You'll have your conclusion that will reflect on the use of your technology, the effects perhaps, important moments you feel that will make an impact, and that will tie back to this piece up here, your thesis statement. Because remember, all of these things, the points that you're making, the details you're including, how you conclude, all have to somehow tie back to your thesis statement, that one initial statement that you made, that overarching statement that will be driving this whole essay. So, some pre-writing first, and this outlining, pre-writing, and this will be something that I will be looking at. By the end of next week, so by the 14th, I would like to see your initial thoughts on this piece. It could be a very rough initial draft. It could be an outline, either a formal one like I did, or something more informal. You could do something. Let's see here. Let me just erase my board real quick. Let's see here. I'll use my create this real fast. You could do something like this, where you have your topic in the center, for instance, your cell phone, and then all the little bubbles around the edges will be filled in with different points and details. Like you can even have like a little offshoot of that one, explaining how you want to go about this essay. Another technique that you could use is something I had a student try several semesters ago, and it's not for the faint of heart, is you turn off your computer monitor completely. So you're looking at a black screen, and you've got Microsoft Word open, and just start typing. Whatever comes to mind about your topic, just let your fingers go. And it's a very scary thing to do, but what happens is you stop thinking about your spelling, your grammar, whether or not what you're saying makes sense, and you're just putting your ideas down on paper, virtual paper. If that's a technique you want to give a try, go for it. Let's see what happens. But at any rate, I will be collecting a pre-writing on this assignment on the 14th. You will be doing a peer review session all week long, the week of the 15th. The week after that, I will take a draft that has been revised from your initial draft, and that one will be for a grade. And that will be due by the 28th. And then once I have read over that one and given you my comments, you'll revise it and edit it one last time and submit that on October 5th. So pretty much a month from now is when this first paper is due. You should, standard kind of things. It should be type, double space, 12 point, Times New Roman, and in the standard MLA format, assignment formatting things that I discussed in the syllabus. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will address your questions as needed. All right, guys. Selena and I say enjoy your Monday.